How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today we have a more somber start, I guess I would say, to this Uncut. Obviously, we know there's unprecedented times happening throughout the world right now, and we wanted to share our statement that we put out on social media rather than making a video on this. So I'm going to hop right into this. I'm also joined reading this statement by my co-host Parth and video producer here at Beared Down, Zach Rimbos. And then following this statement, we're going to get into Uncut 44 with Kyle Fuller stat predictions. So, to our supporters at Beared Down, we have been keeping a close eye and collecting our thoughts during the events that have transpired regarding the lives of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. As a community of younger college students, our generation needs to listen up. We feel we can use this platform to spread love and let others know that we stand with them.
For too long, racism has lived in our country and our cities. Our generation has the ability to make change to the system. We at Bear Down stand against racism and discrimination. No longer is this a matter that only Black people should fight for. We are all in this together. Let's be the change that we want to see in this country.
Do not sit back and refuse to acknowledge the institutional racism that we face in our country, or turn your backs on racism. In order for our communities to change, we have to start by acknowledging what other people are suffering from. Our children shouldn't have to grow up in a world where other people live in fear on the basis of their skin color.
Start by loving each other, no matter their skin color. Let's show the world that we won't let our people suffer from our pastimes any longer. From the team at Bear Down. All right, that was a little bit of a different way to start this one off, but instead of making a video, obviously we wanted to read that statement to you guys and know that we are standing against racism and discrimination right now during these tough times. So let's get right into the video now. It's a little bit of a tough transition to make, but today we are here to talk about a player on the Bears who has really basically light a match under himself and been incredible since about 2015. We've got 5-year veteran Kyle Fuller, obviously a Bears draft pick back in 2014. Now in 2019, he's probably vying for what I would consider a top 5 cornerback slot in the NFL. So let's just get right into this one. I got a little bit of stats to read off about Fuller before we get into this one. Obviously, we're going to be making some stat predictions for him near the end of this video. But obviously, 2014 and 15 weren't the greatest for him. He did have 4 interceptions his rookie year, as well as 10 passes defended and 3 forced fumbles. 2015, 2 interceptions, 9 passes defended. 2017, the Bears turned down his option, and he turns on the gas in a contract year. 2 interceptions, 22 passes defended. The Green Bay Packers signed him to an offer sheet, and the Bears match it to bring him back to Chicago. Definitely a move that I'm saying that the Bears will not regret moving forward. Looking at his 2018 season, he was a Pro Bowler and a member of the first-team All-Pros with 7 interceptions, a career high for him, and 21 passes defended, also incredible. In 2019, he arguably dropped so many interceptions, but he ended up having 3 interceptions and 12 passes defended. So not a terrible year for him as well. Also in 2019, he had a career high in tackles with 82. So obviously, you guys know I am joined by Zach Rimbos and Parth on this one, so we're going to be breaking down Kyle Fuller, giving him some stat predictions here for the 2020 season. Obviously, he's looking to continue to improve. He's got a very nice counterpiece in Chicago now with Jaylen Johnson. That secondary is looking strong like it was in 2018 when he had 7 interceptions and 21 passes defended. So first off, I feel like Fuller is a very underrated cornerback in this league. He's made some top 10 lists. I feel like he doesn't make some top 10 lists. And personally, I feel like he might even be a top 5 cornerback in this league. So Zach, I'm going to start with you. Where would you rank Fuller in regards to cornerbacks in the NFL these days?
I think he's easily top 10. Kyle Fuller, he's a beast, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of great cornerbacks in this league, so to have him in the top 10 and maybe not the top 5 is no disrespect at all, because there are so many. It's a position that is very important, but there are a lot of people throughout the league who are very talented. Stephon Gilmore, Jalen Ramsey. There's so many names. It's people that come to mind at first. So I would definitely have him top 10. I would say just out of top 5 for me. But the way that he's turned around, like you were saying, they declined his option, and then he had, the contract year. The way that he turned it around, and I think he's definitely a top 10 cornerback. In my eyes, I'm not too sure where he stands for other people, but I think that he backs that up. But yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at Pro Football Network's list of the top 25 cornerbacks heading into the 2020 season, Fuller's going to fall at 14th, which I think isn't bad. Personally, I think he's top 10. You look at the Bears, they added Jaylen Johnson in the draft, Artie Burns in free agency, Tashawn Gibson in free agency. This should all free up Fuller to make more plays next season and free up the secondary in general, because everyone you're throwing at is going to be a playmaker. Just looking at their top 10 cornerbacks here, Patrick Peterson, Richard Sherman, I don't know about that one there at number 9. Darius Slay, Jair Alexander, Casey Hayward, Marshawn Lattimore, Marlon Humphrey, a cornerback who's really proven that he can do it throughout the last couple of years. And then obviously I think the solidified top 3 with Tre'Davious White, Jalen Ramsey, and Stephon Gilmore. Parth, I'm passing it to you. Where would you rank Fuller in regards to cornerbacks in the NFL?
I think I'm going to go with around top 12. Again, this is no disrespect to Kyle Fuller. Like Zach said, there's just a lot of great corners in the NFL. And last year, you could consider it as a kind of a down year compared to 2018. Same goes for Eddie Jackson. The whole defense kind of took a step back. So for him to get back in the top 7 category like he was, I think he just needs to have another solid year like 2018. Now, he doesn't even need 7 interceptions, which was league leading at the time. And again, he has a problem with dropping interceptions, which has costed us games in the past. Week 1,
don't mention
2018. And I don't want to mention it, but you have to. You have to when you're mentioning Kyle Fuller. So there's a lot. And then going back to last year, I think he had that one game-saving tackle against the Lions or something like that. So he's got his sparks. Yeah. He's got his sparks and he's got his downsides. But you can't hate against him, especially the way he turned his career around.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at his career tackles with 325, 82 there in 2019, which was actually a career high by far. And then you look at his interceptions, 3 with 12 passes defended. It's time to predict the stats of the 2014 NFL Draft first-round pick out of Virginia Tech. Zach, I'm going to pass it to you first. Give us a prediction for tackles, interceptions, and passes defended. Obviously, that secondary is looking a lot more scary this year. That being said, it might be a year where someone like a Jaylen Johnson or a Buster Screen has to step up, depending on where other teams decide to target the Bears' defense, because there's so many weapons. But what do you think Fuller's got in store for 2020?
Yeah, so the addition of Robert Quinn here and Jaylen Johnson, I feel like it makes the job of Kyle Fuller a little bit easier, just because last year we did have some problems at that cornerback 2 position with Prince. No, not to Prince, but last year Kyle Fuller had around 30 more tackles than he did in 2018, which is a huge step, and that's amazing. He did drop 4 He dropped down 4 interceptions from 2018. So I'm going to predict this year with the additions of Jaylen Johnson, Robert Quinn, and more people just to be able to stack that line and get pressure to the quarterback. I'm going to say he's going to get 5 interceptions. And then I'm going to say he's going to get 73 tackles.
How many passes defended do you think? Because he had, obviously, 22, 21 passes defended in 2017 and 2018, but only 12 in 2019. So what do you think about passes defended?
Passes defended, I'm going to go with 17.
Okay. I think personally, obviously, looking at it from my point of view, if the defense can get as much pressure as we expect, there's going to be a lot more opportunities for him to not only get passes defended, but also interceptions. So I'm going to drop him a little bit on tackles. 82 is a lot, and that was a really productive year for him in that department. I'm going to go 70 tackles. I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to go 6 interceptions and 18 passes defended for Fuller in 2020. I expect him to make the Pro Bowl again. And if he puts up those numbers, he probably should be an All-Pro first-team member once again. He should get that nomination. So, Parth, I'm going to pass it to you. What do you think? Kyle Fuller, another big year for him coming. Obviously, he's on a pretty big contract here. He honestly probably could be a cap casualty in 2021 if the Bears need to move on from anyone on that defense, depending on how guys like Jaylen Johnson play. So, what do you think? What do you expect out of Fuller here in 2020?
I'm gonna go with 67 tackles. Last year he had 82, I guess. So yeah, definitely a drop off from the tackle standpoint, but he had a productive year in that department last year, and I don't think he'll get that many tackles again in his career, especially if you look at how he has been in the past years. I'm gonna go with 20 passes defended, a little bit higher than both of you. The most he's had in his career was 22 in 2017 and 21 in 2018. So I think he gets back to close to that level. And then interceptions, I'm gonna go with 4, lower than both of you. But I just feel like that everyone's gonna get a lot of interceptions on the team this year. And if we look at it, Kyle Fuller is probably not gonna get targeted as much, just because he's the number 1 corner on the team and the definite lockdown, while that cornerback 2 position is still a little iffy on the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it on paper, a low interception number for Fuller makes sense. But personally, when I think about it, with the amount of pressure we're going to be getting and Fuller lining up against the number 1 wide receiver, I feel like there's bound to be some erratic throws that go his way. I think that's just bound to happen. Yeah, but that'll pretty much do it for this episode of Uncut, guys. Thank you guys for sticking with us throughout this one. Episode 44, we're getting real close to 50. We just started this series about 2 months ago, so thank you guys for supporting the series. If you want more content from us, head over to our website, beareddown.com. You can find articles, columns, and blogs on there from us every single day. You can also find the links to our Instagram fan pages down in the description. And if you are on social media, you can follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down. Parth Shaw, Zach Rimbos, it's been a pleasure, guys. Kind of taking a little bit of this week off to record just to kind of respect everything that's going on right now and take it in. But any last words, fellas?
No. Stay safe. Coronavirus is still out there. And hopefully this country can get its things back together, as these are tough times. So everyone just stand together and, just hopefully football gets back, because actually NBA is coming back. We know that officially now. So it's good times are coming ahead.
No Chicago Bulls, though. Only 22 teams. So I guess the most exciting thing the Bulls will see over the summer is hopefully Jim Boylan getting fired, because I know the Reinsdorfs want to stick with him, but my boy Arturas Karnisovas does not want to. So Zach, any last words, buddy?
We're quite literally living in a history lesson here. So just stay safe out there. Keep doing your thing, and I'm wrapping up finals here, so hopefully the content will be
pretty solid.
A lot. I mean, it'll be we'll be pushing on a lot of content this summer, so don't even worry about that. But
pushing for 1.7K subs. We've been gaining a ton of support recently, so continue to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications whenever we post. Some good interviews coming later this week. Do not worry about that. We always have some good stuff in store here. We continue to try and make good content for you guys. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby. Chicago fans, I cannot stress it more. Continue to stay safe. And as always, bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.